With all the interest in growing strawberries as a perennial here in the southeast, we're going to want to look at one fundamental process, which is pruning. So here we have a very vigorous cultivar called Mara de Bois, and this one needs to be pruned back mainly because it grew so big. You can see here it's very thick and lush, even in August, but looking at it, the crowns are starting to crowd one another, especially since they haven't been pruned. So what we're going to go through is look at this one and prune back where needed. And you can see where it's doing it itself with this, where it's dying out around the edges. That is its natural pruning. But we would rather go ahead and do it ourselves by removing a lot of this dead material. It also greatly reduces disease pressure, removes leaf spot and that type of thing, so that you can have a much healthier plant, because diseases will overwinter and over summer on that material. So we want to remove that. And we're kind of looking at the leaves here. One way is you can bunch leaves together, and it gives you an idea of how you may want to prune. If a lot of the leaves are damaged, you're going to want to go ahead and take it out, or in this case, it's just very thick. So we're going to go ahead and look at it and remove. A lot of the recommendations say cut back to about 1 inch to 4 inches, but here we're just kind of give it a haircut at about the 2-inch area where we still have the new growth coming out. So you may change it based off of where that new growth coming from the crown is. It may be higher, may be lower, depending on what you're growing. And just going through removing all this diseased and dead tissue is very good. It encourages our new growth here, given it. It also encourages new flower formation for the spring. This variety hopefully will get some in the fall, but it definitely should perform for us in the spring. So just going through and trimming it out all through here is automatically increasing our airflow, and that'll be a great thing. The plants will grow better. And looking at it, you see I didn't mulch this cultivar, and just look at all the material we're moving out. And that's a good thing to go ahead and take that out. It may look like mulch, but there's disease pressure there, so we want to go ahead and get it out. And then by increasing this airflow, we reduce future disease pressure, and also it will just grow so much better. Looking at it, this variety has really created a lot of crowns, and we could go ahead, and I will with this one in particular, divide the crowns and move them to other areas of the garden where I'd like to get more of this variety. So just looking there, I can get at least 3 to 4 from that. So this is all the material we've pruned away, and you can just look that it's a very kind of even distribution of live and dead material. And you see some leaf spot there. This cultivar is actually very resistant to that, so not a lot. But by removing this, we're taking that disease pressure out. And it's just a good idea to go ahead and remove all of this from your strawberry plants. So here we have a cultivar which needs to be selectively pruned, not as much as the other, because we look, the canopy is a little bit more airy. We just have some leaves that it would be benefit from being taken out. So this variety here, mine grew a little bit thicker, but here we can remove some. So this leaf here, you see we had some leaf spot on there. We'll go ahead and remove that. It's fine now, but as it progresses, it would take away and be a drain on the plant more than it's contributing. I'm going to go ahead and remove runners unless we're trying to propagate from this variety, which this one we're not. So we're going to want to remove that so they focus more on growth. Again, we're bunching it together, looking at the plants, and you look and see that there's a few noticeable ones that need to be taken out, but most leaves look fairly fine. That one's an obvious one to take out, as is this one here, which is just showing it just be more of a drain on the plant than it would contribute. Going through, we see new growth coming from the crown. Good sign. We see also that this variety is attempting to make fruit even in the heat here in the middle of August. It's a good sign, but most of the time this fruit will not develop fully because of the heat. It shows that it is resistant, that it's even attempting to make fruit, so it will perform better in our climate. Most of the time that fruit will not develop all the way now, so just go ahead and remove it. Even if it does, it'll only be about dime-sized and not very sweet. So go ahead and just take that the fruit out that's trying to develop this time of year. More leaves we're going to go ahead and take out. And when we bunch it together, it looks much better now than when we had in the past. Still a runner here that we're going to go ahead and take out. But really the bunching together technique to get a good overview of your leaves really is very beneficial in helping you determine what needs to be pruned out and what can stay. Little leaf spot still there. Only way to completely eliminate that would be to cut most of these leaves out. But I think in this case that is so little that it's worth leaving because we're still getting more carbohydrates being put into the plant than it is taken out. So this cultivar here is one that needs major regeneration. It's not really performing very vigorous in the heat this time of year. So when we look at it, we're going to take out, but we can't really do as vigorous of a pruning back because there's not as much to prune out. So that's something really for me to factor into the trial here, is that long term, if it goes back to this level every year, it may not perform well over a long term because it's at a carbohydrate deficit compared to some of the other varieties. Also, you see it wobbling there. That shows that the root system is not completely as developed as I would like at this time of year. So go ahead at this time and kind of just assess cultivars and see whether or not you still want this in your garden. It may be time to go through and say, this has not performed well, and it's time to consider replacing it with another variety. But overall, we're going to give this one another chance to see if maybe it's just an issue with establishment. But always be assessing your varieties because it may just be time to update into something better.
This has been Michael Polozola with the LSU Ag Center visiting with you about pruning strawberries.